This is London calling in the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
The pocket battleship, Graf Spee, which has been for many weeks preying upon the trade of the South Atlantic, has met her doom.
Mother dear, I'm writing you from somewhere in France, hoping this finds you well.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
Hang up the washing on the Siegfried line, 'cause the washing day is here. Whether the weather may be wet or warm, we'll just love along.
Das Oberkommando der Wehrmacht gibt bekannt. Ein im Atlantik operierender deutscher Flottenverband unter Führung des Flottenchefs Admiral Lütjen im Seegebiet um Island auf schwere englische Seestreitkräfte. Das Schlachtschiff Bismarck hat hierbei einen englischen Schlachtkreuzer, wahrscheinlich Hood, vernichtet.
The sinking of the Bismarck was due to the cooperation of the RAF with the Navy. And Rodney, which did some pretty work with her 16-inch guns.
This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning. But the Japanese High Command had declared that a state of war existed with Great Britain and the United States.
The German Navy, so proudly built up by that smug strategical genius, the Führer, is slowly but surely being wiped out. Now the Scharnhorst, the 26,000-ton battleship, has gone to the bottom. A not unusual result of action against the Royal Navy.
Led by a powerful British escort, the main body of the surrendered Italian fleet is transferred from Malta to Alexandria.
Signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force.
Back across the China Sea for the last large-scale surrender at Hong Kong, where today warships of the Royal Navy ride at anchor in the harbor.
Well, hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gaff Major, and I'm hoping that this is all going to be working all right. However, these from the office live streams, the home office, can be a little bit touch and go, is the best way to put it. Obviously, wearing our HMS Belfast t-shirt. I could probably bring the webcam down a little bit, but I think we'll just go with what we've got. I'd like to say hello to Mega Man, Randy Chang, IGN Azuma, and Sean Maitland, who are already in the chat. Good to see you, good to see you. So obviously, the purpose of this live stream is we will be going through the patch notes almost together as we go along. As we get to each section, you'll always shout out your thoughts and queries and questions, and we can kind of always like just discuss it as we go along. And then furthermore, we'll also then probably have a bit of an open forum towards the end of the live stream. But first of all, to start things off, we'll be taking a look at the live stream trailer. Well, not live stream trailer, the patch trailer. The reason being is sometimes there's additional information that kind of comes from the trailer rather than the patch notes, so it's always worth picking that out. And so we'll start with that. Once that's done, then we'll go to the patch notes, we'll put the jazz on, and then we'll start reading through the patch notes. So I'll get the logos off the screen, and I'll also remove myself. Hopefully the audio will come through okay for this, so let's make a start.
Captains, welcome the new update. There's a solid amount of new things and a bit of the earlier ones. Let's rush to check it out. First off, a whole new line of pan-European destroyers arrives in early access, packing fast torpedoes and powerful guns, but lacking smoke generator. They result.
So now that was an interesting one there. If I can just
fast
ride that
torpedoes
bit.
and powerful guns, but lacking.
So there we go. We got the consumables for the Tier 6 Pan-European destroyer. And we have a defensive AA fire consumable ×2, which is quite interesting. So it looks like at some point in this tech tree, there will be a defensive fire AA consumable coming into it. It might be probably from Tier 6 up, but you never know. We might see it down at Tier 5 as well, potentially.
Smoke generator. They reside in dedicated crates with Tier 1 cruiser Griff and Tier 2 Romulus available for research from the get-go. The new line is joined by 2 new commanders, Konrad Helfrich and Stig Hansen Eriksson, and all-new Tier 6 premium destroyer Erland. Along come returning Friesland and Bliskowitzer. That's a lot to choose from. The new campaign brings along glorious Belfast 43, a new form of the all-around British cruiser. A smooth blend of smokescreen, radar and torpedoes makes her an enticing pick. Get her with the Admiralty backing active. It's all about the 3. Prepare for arena seasons of 3 versus 3 battles. And
might as well just quickly just drag that back and just maybe take a look at the rewards we got here. So we got Pan-European destroyer containers, promotion orders, paint, steel split over quite a few different tiers. What's that? That's 900. If I take these subtitles off, that's another 400. So that takes us up to 1300. So that's about 1600 steel. If you make it to the top 1%. Only accommodation at the end. Okay. They're trying to make it a bit more enticing, I guess you could say. A big crate here. And the reason why I'm going through this now is because generally there might be some subtle differences from this to what actually comes. But usually this won't change that much between each season.
And you guess it right. There are 3 of those. The big twist is Arms Race returning, but with no HP regeneration buff. Compete with ships of tiers from 4 to 6 for fun and prizes, including steel, crates, and commander progression items.
They've actually given us the screenshots on this one. That makes so they kind of would have given away what the artwork's going to be.
Steel, crates, and
so accommodation at the top. Lots of steel as always, but yeah, we've pretty much already seen that one. Accommodation drops down to 2nd place here. Promotion orders also drop down. So this is maybe they're expecting less players to play through this one, or it's going to be more difficult to make it to the top. So they've kind of dropped the rewards a little bit, I guess you could say. And they do that again further. So this is potentially their way of trying to counter player burnout. So on the first season, they put the high rewards right at the top in order to try and drag players through. But as the season goes on, those rewards kind of fall further and further down the chain, trying to obviously entice you to actually play, because you might be suffering from burnout just due to having obviously ground out the previous couple of seasons. So that's quite an potentially. Obviously, I'd like to see the stats from season 28 of Ranked before I can kind of confirm there is like a player burnout with these kind of things.
Against other players will be available later this update. The goods are limited. So
So we have the Conic Albert. Now, it's kind of confirmed that when she comes to the auction, she's probably also going to come to the game at the same time, just to reduce FOMO, I guess you could say.
don't blink. Get on the seas and turn the tide.
There you go. That's your trailer this patch. So I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, there's a couple of things in there which the internet did drop out momentarily there. I do apologise. But yeah, there's definitely some things there which are of interest, I guess you could say. Maybe playing the trailers probably really pushed my laptop to the limits there with that one. Every time I hear /see I need healing, makes me have Vietnam flashbacks of watch over. Fair enough. Oh, that's one thing I've got to be careful of. I don't think I have the cover for the microphone, so I've got to be careful of not accidentally laughing into the microphone too loudly. Sure, an arena with no HP boat boost is going to be interesting. Yeah, and the thing is, it's what the community has been asking for. To be honest, the community kind of does not like these kind of healing things. Things like Will to Rebuild, and where it's just endless regeneration for no reason. Evening there was, evening. Good to see Kim Mike Gaming as well. The hill thing, they should have turned it down a little. I think maybe they're going to try and see how it goes. I guess if they know how it works with the heel, so maybe they're going to see how does it work without the heel, and then see what would the mid ground need to be. Ranchang, I was a dirty mercy main. The history of the in-game auction house is not great. That is very true. I've seen it. The thing is, it's something the community keeps asking for, but also at the same time, I've not really ever seen positive feedback about this kind of thing in the past. Anyway, let me get the jazz on. There we go, gentlemen. Hopefully that will mean that I'm not just sat here in silence too much. And I think I read the hill thing. They should have. Yeah, I think I read that one. Genizuma, most exciting thing. It was going to be the rerun of Zerlane and the Oland. Fair enough. Good choice. Good choice. Hi everyone. Hi Major from Sean. Yeah, love to put my Jean Bar in the auction house. Now that's one thing about the auction house. We'll cover because there's a lot to talk about the auction house. We'll cover the auction house when we get there, I guess you could say. So obviously, starting off with the patch, we are looking at a 2.3 gigabyte update happening on May the 16th, starting about 7 AM, ending at 10 AM UTC. Sometimes the end of the patch note does get pushed out, just because obviously it can take a little bit longer to work through it. Hello Mara, hello. We can't have everything, Mara, but we'll get there. Well, now obviously they do the usual short rundown, and there is a redeem code here. So one thing I should probably mention is down in the description of this live stream is linked to the patch notes if you want to read along as we go along. And also there's two redeem codes. There's this redeem code and there's another 3 years strong flag redeem code, and also a link to the redeemer. So you can always check those out now or whenever you feel like it, or after the stream if you want. And we'll cover the differences with the Belfast. Obviously when we get there as well. So obviously they sum it up. We've got pan-European destroyers coming to early access, 2 new commanders, the Belfast 43 campaign, they're also collaboration with Zerlane, also Godzilla and Kong coming back. They're pilot tests in the auction, so we'll see how that goes. And also Arena. So yeah, well, that's kind of all been wrapped up. And again, they're showing off the Conic. Now the redeem code here is obviously for 12 Union Jack camouflages, obviously tying in with the Belfast campaign. Pan-European destroyers, so obviously a whole new tech tree coming in. However that works, so as we already know this, but we're going to start with the Griefy, the tier 1 cruiser, and then going on to the Romulus, the Class Horn, the Visby, the Vastrayas, the Sakane and the Ostergotland as the territory. Obviously, early access is going to be from tier 3 to tier 6, with the tier 7 being locked until the next patch, and obviously researchable will be the tier 1 and the tier 2, which isn't too bad really. And yeah, they just talk about it here. Well, now let's see what we got here. These destroyers don't need smoke screens, relying instead on let's just say the repair party at higher tiers. So we're not exactly sure where that starts. Maybe the tier 6, maybe the tier 5 up is the best way to put it. Now I could go through the ships themselves actually very briefly. You won't be able to see them, so what I'll do, I'll put that up on screen, and then on my other screen I'll go through the pros and cons of these ships over on... Okay, that's alright, we should be alright, fingers crossed. So the Griffey is a mine layer, which was designed by the designed to serve as a training ship. She's built in France for the Polish Navy with Swedish artillery. Let's be honest, there's not really too much to talk about. It's a tier 1 at the end of the day. Tier 2, Romulus, is a Speaker class destroyer built for the Italian Navy and transferred to the Swedish Navy in 1940. The ship was notable for her compact dimensions and peculiar armament of her torpedo tubes. Is there anything particularly interesting here? I mean, she's a tier 2. Torpedo armament, she's got 1 quadruple and 1 twin torpedo launcher. And of course the twin has the same reload time as the quadruple, of course. So it's not even like you can get twice the amount of torpedoes out of it. And not really anything worth mentioning. I guess you say it is a tier 2 really. Class Horn coming in at tier 3 potentially might be of interest for maybe some seasons of arena and ranked, I guess you could say. She is... We haven't got really any information on her. Standish Swedish destroyer, commissioned as part of one of several ongoing series of destroyers that commenced in the late 1920s. The features of all the ships of the series share with her high speeds, 120mm main armament and 533mm torpedo tubes. Visby coming at tier 4. We do have some pros and cons. She's a further development standard class of the Swedish destroyers. Again, quite a lot of these, pretty much all these destroyers are Swedish in some form or manner, I guess you could say. Pros and cons: very good maneuverability, access to repair party over on PC, so potentially might be where we start over here on Legends, you don't really know. Quick torpedo reload, second fastest for her tier over on PC, and also has a very good AA for her tier over on PC. Downsides are small HP pool, even with the repair party, so not that survivable potentially. Also looks like it might have a slow turret reverse speed, obviously no smoke, a very low torpedo alpha damage, so individually the torpedoes probably don't do a lot of damage, and also the main battery looks to be a little bit weak, so she might not be that strong for her tier over here on Legends. We'll have to see how her stats actually are ported over, because obviously it can differ. The Vestrayas, a design of a large, fast-moving and well-armed destroyer developed by the Swedish shipbuilders for the Polish Navy. All of her main battery artillery was placed in twin mounts, so obviously this is the Swedish design, which was lost out to the Bisfiska. Basically, the Bisfiska was made in the UK. I think it's, I can't remember the company that made Bisfiska, but obviously, yeah, the British design won out over this one. Now, the pros and cons: quick reloading torpedoes, above average concealment for her tier, good maneuverability and access to repair party. I'd say there's probably a good chance that the tier 5 up will have repair party then. Obviously no smoke screen, weak main battery, poor firing range, low torpedo alpha damage, individually the torpedoes aren't going to be too good, and also slow turret reverse speed. So at the moment, up until tier 5, these do not really seem like amazing, is the best way to put it. They're not going to be for everyone. Going on to the Sakane, which is going to be our tier 6. This ship is a destroyer armed with dual-purpose main battery. This ship serves as a prototype to the Swedish Öland class destroyers, which were commissioned after World War II. So obviously this is probably where the defensive AA fire consumable starts, which we have already seen. Pros over on PC are that she has good maneuverability, fast 80 knot torpedo speed once upgraded, Fast firing guns, great AA and very usable concealment, fast torpedo reload and quite a reasonable torpedo range over on PC. Downsides are that her torpedoes suffer from the previously low torpedo alphas. Obviously the torpedoes individually don't do a lot of damage. Also she has a low hit pool, so obviously she's not that survivable. No smoke as well, and few options to disengage if she's caught out of position. And also her main battery DPM can sometimes feel rather lackluster, so that's something to note. Not a lot of HE penetration and not a great fire chance over on PC. So yeah, it's I guess it's the stepping stone, really, isn't it? So it might not be, again, these don't really seem to be for everyone. There's going to only be a really kind of certain style of player who's going to be enjoying these. The Östergötland, which is coming to tier 7. Yeah, tier 7, yes. So she's the last of the series of the destroyers of the Swedish Navy due to the dimensions, which were quite small for the era. They're sometimes classified as light destroyers, and their main artillery armament consisted of a very successful 120mm automatic dual-purpose mounts. So again, probably going to be quite good at AA counter. Now, pros, fastest torpedoes in the game. So yeah, they're going to be very fast, about 76 knots potentially. Relatively fast torpedo reload as well. The main armament looks to be pretty good and has a good chance of setting fires as well. Also access to the repair party and a very strong anti-aircraft defense. Downsides are again low damage and low flooding chance on the torpedoes, very short main battery range, relatively small hit points, so again not very survivable. Also relatively slow, so although the rest of the tech tree up to this point seems to be quite speedy, looks like the tier 7 might not be so. Also again no smoke screen, and the torpedoes take a significantly long time to reload as well, which is this is quite amusing. So over on the PC pros and cons, she's got relatively fast torpedo reload and torpedoes take a significantly long time to reload. So there seems to be some contradicting information over there. So it'd be interesting to see what actually comes through, what comes out in the wash, I guess you could say. Right, let's jump back to the chat because I'm seeing that's going absolutely beans. Evening, Andy Mac. Aijin Azuma, the European DDs will probably be a lot like the French. Yeah, no, that's a good mention. Mecha Man, I do wonder what will Belfast 43 armor look like. Very true. I think I've heard she's only got 16mm plating on the bow and the stern. It's her main belt though that I'm most interested in. J. Samuel White, worthy builder of the Beastfisker. Much obliged. That's it. Yep, down the south coast near Brighton. Sean, I'm bored of the early access schemes of ships. It's just their way of getting a little extra bit of gold out of you and drag the content out for longer. Yeah, this is very true. To be honest, don't ever purchase the crates. We'll look at the crates shortly, but yeah, just don't ever purchase the crates because the early access is just not worthwhile. I just realised that within 3 years the game has been made. There's only been 3 Royal Navy campaigns: Belfast, Minotaur and Belfast for free. If Wargame want to do a Royal Navy campaign, they should have done Dido. Yeah, Dido, Repulse. Why was Hood? Hood should have been a campaign ship. But then again, what they seem to do is they do a lot of these campaign ships for the Royal. Well, they do very few campaign ships for the Royal Navy. But apart from that, a lot of the Royal Navy premiums are all available to purchase. So it seems a bit like, I think it might be because Royal Navy ships sell, that rather than doing campaigns where you kind of get a one and done, they kind of bring them more to the store, I guess you could say. I guess it's basically a bit of a money spin, I guess say. Mara, but Major, what about the Dido? In time. Don't worry, I'm an advocate for the Dido as well. Right, I'm going to get the teapot. I have boiled some water. Because I just wanted to... So I get the herbal tea on the go. There we go. I'll have some lemon and ginger tea as we go. Mara says only torps. She has short smoke. with the smoke Mara, it hasn't been confirmed by the CMs yet, so I think it's one of those it's yet to see. She might have short smoke, I guess you could say, but we'll get there when we get there. Right, onto the early access. So obviously, there's small crates and there's big crates as well, and there's also a guaranteed system. But what we'll do is we might just jump straight to the crates. But here's one thing: the Friesen is going to be available for Global XP along with the Bitsafiska. The actual price of those yet to be confirmed, I guess you say. Now the Friesen is probably going to be 750,000 Global XP. As for the Bitsafiska as a tier 6, it should be less. Should be on par with the Atlanta, but I can't remember the Atlanta's numbers off the top of my head. But yeah, that's one thing they kind of slipped in there. They did kind of tease it in the trailer, I guess you could say. So looking at the crates. Here we go. So the drop ratios on the left is a big crate, on the right is a standard crate. So the drop ratios in the standard crate: 4.93% for the tier 3, 2.3% for the tier 4, 0.07% for the tier 5, 0.02% for the tier 6, and obviously the Friesen is available for 0.01% drop rate. The rest of the stuff is pretty much... Oh, there's going to be new European camouflages, which is interesting. But yeah, apart from that, the rest of this is pretty much rubbish, apart from maybe the insignia, which is, yeah, not amazing drop rate. So yeah, they're not really going to give much away for these early access crates. Now, also they say there is... each early access ship comes with a personal mission. The rewards you with doubloons and commander progression items. These missions are available until August 29th, 2022. If you already own the ship in that drop, then obviously the chance of it dropping would move from that drop rate. And then over here, let's see, where was the guaranteed part of it? You'll get early access ships. This is with the asterisks. So where's the asterisks? Oh, okay. Only the big containers have the guaranteed drop rate. So okay, we covered the small crates. Let's do the big crates now. Big crates. Insignia is 2%. Personal universal accommodation 2%. Class horn the tier 3 10.5. The tier 4 5.5. The tier 5 1.5. The tier 6 1%. Friesen 0.5%. So obviously a little bit of a change. I haven't really compared these numbers to previous seasons. Again, the ships obviously come with the mission regardless, and once you own one, the ship is removed from the drop. And obviously then we have this bit about the guaranteed drop rate. So this container uses a guaranteed reward system. You are guaranteed to receive an early access ship in your 20th container if you were unlucky. If you have all the early access ships in this container, then you receive the Friesen by the 30th container. Each time you receive a ship from this container, the guaranteed counter resets. The guaranteed drop can occur as long as there are still ships that don't have it. Now, in previous crates, I think the Italian crates, there have been issues with the open all button, in that it doesn't actually work with the guaranteed system. Whether that bug's been fixed, I can't remember. So what I'll say is, if you are opening containers for ships, even if you have lots of containers, I'd highly recommend to open them one by one to make sure the guaranteed system works, because even though open all button should work, it hasn't previously with people receiving duplicates of ships. I think that happened with the Italian early access battleships. So yeah, that's the crates. Can we compare to... Let's see, what should we compare to? I don't know why that's expanded. I want to compare to like another early access. Okay, here we go. That's the big crate. 10.5, 2.5, 1.1, 4.93, 2.3, 0.07, 00. Okay. So if I quickly nip up to the top. 10, 5.5, 1.51. They've dropped these rates massively, haven't they? 4.93, 2.3, 0.7, 0.2. Can't remember that off the top of my head. think they might change to the lower end of the scale. So the big crate, they've actually made worse in comparison. I think 10, 5, 2.5, 1. 10.5, 5.5, 1.5. So they've made the lower tiers slightly better, but they've made the higher tiers potentially significantly worse. There you go. So there you go. That's just a quick comparison to the previous crates, and that's something that you can do yourself. So if you want to do some further comparison, I might do some more of this for WoW's Weekly, but I'm not going to go through it now, or else we'll be comparing, going further and further back, I guess you could say, and seeing how things have changed with the early access. But yeah, the percentages have definitely changed. Right, back to the Patchnotes, but I'll just quickly check on the chat. Where's more Royal Navy players or Wales? Maybe. Or it could be that because some Royal Navy ships have quite a bit of history, maybe more people are willing to purchase that history, potentially. Be interesting to see if Wargaming ever released Rodney. I think with British battle cruisers coming to World of Warships PC, with them potentially having underwater torpedoes, you might maybe see Rodney as a potential future ship over on PC, and maybe then eventually into Legends, which will then feature underwater torpedoes. I think that might be the thing. Andy, Mac, got the Hyuga for my first free golden crate of this campaign. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Sean, took the wife out, and there's a guy on the dance floor, breakdancing, moonwalking, flips in the works. The wife turns to me and says, "I turned that guy down in marriage before you." I said he's still celebrating. Mara really hoped that we see Taiho, and there's no ship except Britannic Olympic class. Fair enough. Right. So obviously there's the Oland. We'll cover that as we get down to it, but obviously she's coming in May the 23rd, which is the second week of the patch, I believe. Yeah, and obviously they will be doing a deeper dive. Furthermore, there's going to be 2 new commanders. Now, Conrad Helfrich, obviously kind of got accidentally released for players with existing pan-European ships, so obviously quite a lot of people have already gone, but basically as of the patch, he's going to be the generic commander. Everyone's going to just get him straight off the bat, so he's not going to be in a crate, I guess you could say. But furthermore, they're also adding another destroyer commander, Stig Hansen Eriksson, and also which Swertsky is now going to become like a proper tech tree commander. So Swertsky and Stig will be basically in pan-European and generic commander crates, so obviously people can pick them that way. They'll also be coming available in the store for 900,000 commander XP as per all the tech tree commanders, I guess you could say, and Conrad will basically appear in your roster regardless as of the and May the 16th, I want to say. He double checks, yes, that is correct. So yeah, Conrad, we kind of already covered him in the past. He's just a generic commander. His base trait affects your AA damage and your maximum movement speed, which is not too bad, I guess you could say, if you're looking to try and maybe do a bit of a balanced build, I guess you could say. Stig Hansen, his base trait improves engine boost cooldown time and improves torpedo damage as well. Now, interestingly, most of these skills look pretty generic, apart from this one down here, which is a tortoise with a gun on the top and a torpedo underneath. I can't recall what commander has that in the game. I think it might be one of the like, is it Mordorf or something like that, one of the Halloween commanders. So I think what it does is I think it improves the survivability of your weapon modules, like your turrets and your torpedoes. So that could be quite an interesting one, because these ships don't have smoke, right? So having that ability is helpful for, I think, for a non-smoke destroyer, and potentially, obviously it's not mentioned in this patch, but I would say there's a good chance in the future that at least one of the French destroyer commanders should get this upgrade. I think this is going to be a tester, And if this works well, we might see one of the French destroyer commanders get this kind of upgrade as well, or change, I guess you could say, because obviously with the French, the entire territory has no smoke, but a couple of the premiums do, and with the pan-European destroyers, the whole territory has no smoke apart from a couple of the premiums. So why the French commanders basically kind of have smoke-related skills always kind of irritated me. So I think this kind of change on this forthcoming territory could be a potential change that happens on the French territory commanders as well. And obviously Conrad doesn't have, I think Swirsky does have a smoke related skill, I guess you could say. So obviously they do talk about it, but yeah, there's not much more information, but here they just basically shows the card. Now there is an interesting thing here, I guess it's worth mentioning. It shows the breakdown of how much it climbs per level. I think this is a dev view rather than it being an in-game view. I think it's just there as part of the visualization in order for people to appreciate how much it climbs as you go along. Stig is such a cool name. No. Although I don't think I'll be calling my firstborn Stig. I don't think the wife would appreciate that. Conrad looks like a Ghetto Eastern Europe version of Dr. Phil. Okay. Stig looks Chad. I fancy going back in time and meeting the commander in real life and saying you're just generic. John Jericho, you're generic, you are. Universal, that's what it is, universal. Can we have a commander? Can we save commander crates for next campaign, or will they auto open? So with commander crates, when you receive a crate, what's inside the crate or what can be available in the crate is already determined at that point. So there's no, if you say got commander crates now and open them after the patch, they won't be able to contain pan-European commanders. Unfortunately, that's just a mechanic in the game. So if you wanted to try and guarantee maybe getting a pan-European commander, I'd probably say don't complete the weekly the weekly boost or the weekly challenge or whatever it is. Don't bother completing that on Sunday. Wait until the patch comes out and then complete it after that. And then the commander crate that you'll receive after the patch will have potential containing these commanders. If you complete and get the crate before the patch drops, then there's no chance of it containing the commander, even if you save it. I think that's how it works. At least that's how it used to work. I don't know if there's been any changes in the past. Guzo, Stig and Tanaka, and that's 30k torpedo damage, Japanese DD. Like, what the hell? Wargaming, what are you thinking for real now? Oh, that's nasty. That's a lot of torpedo damage. Although the chance, how many people do that, and how that impacts the game is obviously going to be. This is the thing. It's always like if a very few amount of people do it, they might not bother reining back torpedo damage because you are sacrificing quite a lot of other things to purely focus on that. But if a lot of people start using torpedo damage bills like that, then potentially you could see maybe Wargaming maybe reining in torpedo damage in the future. Maybe. Right. Back to Belfast campaign. Yeah. So Belfast 43 is coming as a tier 7 cruiser as a end campaign reward. She's obviously going to be locked behind the campaign, which is 100 milestones over 5 weeks, which has average backing of 2,500. So she will cost you 2,500 doubloons regardless, I guess you could say. Now the interesting one, she comes with AP and HE shells. The AP is standard AP shells, so not the AP that you've got on the light cruisers. It's like standard AP for a 6-inch gun. The HE seems to have quite reasonable penetration, able to penetrate 29 or 30 millimeters of armor, and it looks like the shell ballistics is going to be similar to the American. So whether that means potentially super heavy AP with a 6-inch gun, that could be quite interesting, but furthermore maybe quite arcy as well. Probably slow velocity shells, very high arcs. Now she's also got 2 triple torpedo tubes, which again I think that's inaccurate. I think Belfast and Edinburgh are actually fitted with quadruples. Let me just double check that. Be a town class cruiser, won't it? I think this is just one of those things that has constantly always been the issue. Armament. Oh no, Edinburgh was fitted with 6 21-inch torpedoes. Okie dokie. No, they were fitted with triples. Okay. Remember someone once asking me if they had quads. Maybe they might got fitted. Okay, so yeah, maybe that is correct actually. Maybe I misread my information previously. Or I'm recording something else. Maybe I could be recording another ship that I was asked about. Now, it does talk about the consumables here. A smoke generator, radar, and sonar. Now, in fact, she's actually got 6 consumables. But you can only pick 3. Now, so basically, it's like each slot. So you've got damage control party, and you can have smoke or something, or repair party. You can have radar or something else. It's definitely it's smoke or repair party. It's sonar or defensive AA fire consumable, and it's radar or catapult fighter. So you've got lots of options, which is actually quite interesting. She's quite universal. So you could have smoke, radar, sonar, or you could do repair party, radar, defensive AA fire consumable, for example, or you could do anything you want: smoke, catapult fighter, sonar. So there's quite a lot of options there. It's a shame that they didn't actually explain that here. Now, there is a bit of a query regarding the smoke generator at the moment. I haven't seen it confirmed by any of the community managers, and even when I tried to give them a poke on it, I haven't been able to get a response. Over on PC, Belfast 43 has a short duration smoke screen, which is the same as the British destroyers. So it takes like 10 seconds delay, it sits around 30 seconds, say, and then reloads in about say 40 to 50 seconds, give or take. So there's like little gaps between the smoke screens. So she won't have so over on PC she can't really set a smoke screen and sit around for ages. However, there's no mention here of a short time smoke screen, and I've tried to quiz the community managers, and I've even scoured the public Discord to see if they've confirmed it, and I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere what smoke screen she's got. If you have seen it confirmed from the community managers, so like a guaranteed source of information, then obviously hit me up, drop me a Discord message with a screenshot, or just chuck the link to the Discord message into the chat, and I'll obviously then just double check it and confirm it. But yeah, at the moment we're not sure what smoke screen she's going to have. Now, obviously, they said there's going to be more information forthcoming on the Belfast, but some things they have kind of teased already is that her bow and stern arm is only going to be 16mm thick, so she's not going to be as tanky as the Edinburgh. Furthermore, we've also seen some of the stats of the Belfast 43 come out, and in comparison to the Edinburgh, it seems like she has more hit points and a slower rate of fire, and also a slower rudder shift. So she's not that amazing straight off the starter blocks. Her reload is 2 seconds longer. Her rudder shift is also about 2 seconds slower, and her hit points is about 2,000 hit points more at the moment. Now, what her main armored belt on the side is, that's still unconfirmed. I think if it's the same as the Edinburgh, obviously it means she can angle against 16-inch guns. That's quite a good trait. However, if it's less, if it's say 25mm or less, that's obviously going to impact on her playstyle. And so at the moment, I really want to know what her smoke generator is, and I really want to know what her main armored belt is, before I can kind of work out what kind of playstyle she wants. Because obviously she's got a normal smoke screen, which is going to be very nice, like almost like a tier 7 Fiji, which would be really, really nice. But if she's got short smoke screen, then you're going to have to rely on that armor. She's always going to be like a 6-inch gun Albemarle. Well, probably worse than that Albemarle because from the armor scheme. So she's almost going to be like a British style Russian cruiser, I guess you could say. So then that also means, what's her armor about? Can she angle, or is she gonna have to dodge? That's the big question. It's also worth mentioning the torpedoes actually have shorter range than the Edinburgh. Edinburgh has 10 kilometer torpedoes. Belfast 43 only has 8 kilometer torpedoes. In comparison to the Tier 6 version, potentially her smokescreen might be different, yet to be confirmed. She can swap out her smokescreen for a repair party. How good that repair party is yet to be confirmed. She does have torpedoes, but they're like Tier 6 torpedoes at Tier 7. So there's a lot of swings and roundabouts, and until we get full release information on Belfast 43, it's very hard to really make a call on whether she's actually going to be a useful ship, or whether she's going to be a little bit subpar, unfortunately. Has the French Kamikaze been patched? Not yet. She's not going to be patched in the first week of the patch, but she probably will be patched within a week or so of her release. So it might not happen when the patch uploads, but it might be a hot fix that happens in the first week of the patch, I guess you could say. Pixelmug, it'd be interesting to see how much AA these destroyers have, considering what a half-decent carrier can do to a French destroyer. Yes, with those pan-European. Although, I think if you spec them towards it, should be right. Anyway, I've been playing this game for 3 years, Major. Still learning, thank you. Don't worry, every day is a school day, even for me. Oh, Mara, I just realised, nice HMS Belfast shirt. Oh, much obliged. Picked it up from HMS Belfast August last year. Was when I went to visit Belfast. Mara, repair party, heal. Yeah, radar, sonar, that's normal. Yeah, that'll probably be the normal one. Real question is, does Belfast come with Guinness? Guinness has to be used as supplies. I think should have our Royal Navy DD smoke. I think I kind of agree with you. There's a good chance of that, but until it's confirmed, I'm not going to stick my neck on the line. I think we're all going to want Belfast to be the same as the Dido and PC, a small support DD Hunter cruiser to support the DDs in your team. Could be quite interesting if this is, because this could maybe lead towards the Dido if they're testing this kind of mechanic. Well, we'll see. Because obviously they might want to test if the mechanic works at Tier 7 before maybe introducing it at Tier 5. Anyway, I think I've covered everything there. Yep, we have covered it. So let's jump into the campaign. Now, obviously, there is this infogram. Obviously, the patch running from 16 May to June the 20th, 5 missions, 100 levels, and obviously there is some differences between whether you have anti-backing or no anti-backing, I guess you could say. So, the total amount of awards that you'll get without anti-backing is 17,635 doubloons. The important stuff, I guess you could say, is going to be probably that stuff there. That's the stuff that players really actually care about. So 14 promotionals, 1 insignia, 1 commendation, 8 days of premium count, 9 pan-European. You probably won't care too much about these, but that's 10 crates in total. Command crate, patch and symbol. Really, actually, if I simplify it down to things that the commander people probably only care about, it's probably that. So really, there's not a lot of stuff there. Although the value. Well, we'll talk about the values actually shortly. If you get anti-backing, you'll get some additional rewards. These rewards, let's simplify. Let's see, what are people interested in? Well, maybe that's quite a considerable amount. That might be worthwhile. There you go. So, yeah, some promotionals, insignias, commendations. Now, the amount of commendations that you're getting has actually been reduced that you get from the campaign. That's one thing that another CC has mentioned. And I think the reason being is it's very much the same way that the doubloons that you get with a campaign has dropped as well. What they've done is they've tried to spread the resources out more. So back in the day, back in the Atlanta campaign in 2019, he says, was it 19? Yeah, back in 2019, there was just a campaign, that was it. Now we've got 3 seasons of Arena or 3 seasons of Ranked or something else that happens. So although with the campaign and the amplitude backing, you're only getting access to 4 accommodations rather than 5, you could also say, well, if you complete or participate in Arena and you do well, you'll get an additional 3 universal accommodations. So that it takes that number up. So that might be why the amount of rewards that we seem to be getting with campaigns is less and less useful stuff and more guff. With it almost being pushing people almost like the getting the empty back in is really about, do you want the ship? And maybe some of the other stuff that comes along the way. Is it justifiable? Now, we'll do the usual go compare, but what we'll do is, here we go compare. So this is basically the information regarding every campaign as far as I can get records to go back. So obviously we only go back to October 2019. So this does not include the Tirpitz campaign or the Atlanta campaign that came before it. So this is, I can't remember what campaign it was. The October 19 one. No, I can't remember. Yeah. So I think the October 19 one was actually just a guffy campaign that just gave us a load of rubbish. So yeah, this goes. I think December 19 may have been the Jean Bar. Or the Jean Bar might have been. No, Jean Bar might have been December 19. Anyway, I digress. So obviously, right there at the top, we have the campaign that is forthcoming, the May 2022 campaign. So without having to back in, you're going to be getting 17,635 doubloons worth of value. Now this is the highest since December 2023, and it is just a little bit below average since records began. In regards to the amount of doubloons that you get with anti-backing, you're getting 71,530. This is the highest again since December 21 campaign, and this is actually above average, but not massively. I mean, you're only looking at about 700 doubloons, I guess you say, give or take, in regards to how much above average that is. So this looks to be a very average campaign. The difference between with and without empty backing is 53,895 doubloons. This is actually above average. That's probably mostly because without is below and with is above average, so that's why that is probably quite considerable. And this is the highest separation since January 2022. And so therefore the percentage of the overall rewards that you'll be receiving without anti-backing is 24.65%, which is a little bit below average, but is the highest since December 2021. So that gives you a nice little idea. Now obviously one thing that we kind of already said is nowadays with the campaign there's less and less useful stuff, and there's more and more what I call guff, flags, booster flags, common containers and things like that. So although the campaigns don't seem to be significantly changing in value, the rewards most certainly are. But yeah, there you go. There's a nice little bit of history there. I'll make sure I get to the right one. There we go. So, obviously we've gone through. If you want to boost the campaign, if you're a masochist or you're a glutton for punishment, then you can spend 27,250 doubloons to get the Belfast 43 straight away, and then you can start earning a pitiful amount of steel. I do not recommend this. I do not recommend this at all. Don't do it. Obviously there will be a breakdown of the campaign missions and such on the 16th. We don't know anything about whether there's going to be any kind of catch-up mechanic or anything else like that. Let's have a look. Oh, there is catch-up mechanic enabled. That's good. And there's also going to be hard mode weekly as well. So yeah, it looks like quite a reasonable campaign, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think with this campaign, a lot of it's going to depend on what that end ship is going to be like before we actually say whether or not we want to commit to actually purchasing without backing. Now this is actually, I think this is the bigger news, the Azur lane. The Godzilla versus Kong, it doesn't really matter, that's only like 2 commanders, but the Azur lane, that's quite a big thing. Now here they're showcasing Wave 3 of Azur lane. They're actually bringing back Wave 1, 2 and 3. There's only one commander they're not bringing back, and I'll explain that reason. It was mentioned on the NDA of the CC Discord, but I think it's fine for me to cover it. I think we were basically given the green light that once the patch is released, we can share this information. If not, I'm going to stick my neck on the line and share the information anyway. So, Azur Lane collaboration content, as well as Godzilla and Kong, is making a return with the Azur. Basically, here they comment the exception being Azur Lane Targo. So the reason why Azur Lane Targo is not making a return to the game in this sale is because the voice acting on the Azur Lane game and whatever else, the Yostar rights, I guess you say, the voice actors changed, and they haven't been able to re-record the voice lines for World of Warships yet. So at the moment, because World of Warships only have the old voice actors' lines, they can't put her up for sale again because it's not up to date. Because obviously Azur Lane is the IP of Yostar. Yostar basically said, no, you can't sell that with the old voice lines. You have to do it with the new voice lines, but they haven't got time to record them as yet. So that's why Azur Lane Targo is not making a return. It's basically they don't have the new voice line for voice acting stuff that Yostar have now got. So unfortunately, that is why. So it's kind of a bit out of their hands. They have to obviously abide to the agreements they have with Yostar, and so in this case, Azur Lane Targo, unfortunately, she's not going to be making a return. Once, probably, maybe in the future, then maybe we might see that. I don't think so. Either that, or maybe Yostar are actually changing the voice acting of Azur Lane Targo. At least that's the information I've been told anyway. Whether it's completely correct, I don't know, because I don't follow Azur Lane. Yeah. Although Mara says the voice actor is still the same. I wonder, maybe, unless Yostar are in the process of re-recording new lines, maybe. Oh, okay, that's what I saw. Let's see. So obviously Azur Lane's coming back. Now Azur Lane's coming back from May the 30th to June the 20th, and Godzilla Kong's making a return on June the 6th. I'm using June the 6th. Anyway, the auction. I'm sure quite a lot of people here are intrigued about the auction, so I'll read this bit, and then obviously, if you've got any queries and questions regarding the auction, now's your time to start shouting out in the chat. And obviously, I have tried to read what I can on the World of Warships Legends public Discord, just to see what information has been shared, and so obviously then we can cover it there. So this is an initial version of a new feature of the game, which is being tested on June the 2nd to June the 6th, and this is basically an in-game auction function. However, the auction function is not player to player. IGN Azuma, Targo's voice actress got fired because of controversy. Okay, so therefore they might, maybe they might do. The only different voice actors is in China for a Targo. Yes, I think Yostar is owned by China though, but China Azur Lane is a whole different game, and that's why it's way more censored. Yeah, but then again, Yostar is from China, so they're the one calling the shots. So they'll see they might roll out a change of the voice acting then across the game. Maybe, you never know. Where was I? Yeah, so basically it's an ability to win a finite number of valuable items. So obviously what we've got is a golden flag, an insignia, and the iconic Albert. Now, basically you place a bid using doubloons and credits, and if you're within X number of top bids during when the auction closes, then you'll receive the goods, and if you're not, then you get your bid refunded. This is a player against wargaming kind of auction, so there's no player auctioning. The reason being is there's obviously all sorts of issues with potential real money transactions in order to allow people win certain bids, and it gets a bit muddy. It's a bit of a quagmire, so that's why they're avoiding player auctioning. So they're doing this kind of auctioning thing where the players kind of are putting a cost on in-game items from wargaming. Now, I believe an example number of amount of winning bids has been set. I've seen the number 5,000 floating around from the same Robin. Furthermore, this is the thing. I'm not a Yostar. I'm not a. Is Yostar Shanghai, or I thought Yostar was China when I looked into it? Maybe. Yeah, we'll digress. We'll put it in the back. Yeah. So with the auctioning thing, now they are also going to make the like initial bids is going to be obviously quite low, and obviously people will bid higher, and I think regarding certain items like say ships, the ships will become available in the store at a set price anyway, just to avoid FOMO, I guess you could say. So it means if people don't win the bid, it's not going to be a King Albert, that's it. The ship isn't going to disappear. So it's not like they're going to restrict the number of people to getting a certain ship to 5,000. Say, they're just going to say, well, it's going to go on sale, but what do people want to bid for it? I guess beforehand. I'm not really sure about this mechanic. To be honest, I really just don't care for this mechanic. I know some people have maybe been asking for something like this, and that's why we kind of got this. Major, what's your Discord tag? I can send it to you. I think I'm not online at the moment, but I think it's back to the port. Yeah, you can usually see me on the World Warships Legends Discord, usually online. I'm online quite a lot of the time because I usually just have it on in the background. If not, you can probably just find me in the CC section of the Discord if you look down through the members. So yeah, they obviously dedicated blog post, but yeah, with this auctioning thing, I'm not really too fussed. Sean, what's the point of surname voices anyway? I don't understand them. I assume, Sean, that Japanese is not your second language down in Cornwall then? Sean, in my eyes, the auction is a way to get people to pay over the top for something if they really want to. Yeah, maybe it might be like an early access thing. That sounds really grubby, doesn't it? Yeah. King Albert looks interesting. I never knew we were on eBay. Not sure about the lady commander. Her feather boa will get wet if the ship sinks. Yeah, I'm not even sure about this commander. Like, is it a commander? Is it? It could be. It could be a commander, guys, that they're teasing. I'm not on Warships Discord, so I would need your name and number. Okay, Margaret. Well, I can PM you on the PlayStation. Probably, maybe after this. Actually, I've got to do the evening mirror after this. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock already. Anyway, so yeah, this is potentially a commander, guys. Maybe coming to the game, or is this just a random piece of artwork that they've used and is yet to be seen, I guess you could say. Arena, again, they haven't really covered much on Arena. We kind of have seen some stuff in the trailer, so that's way back at the start of the stream. But yeah, they're bringing back Arms Race, and this time they're getting rid of the HP restore. Apart from that, there's not really much else. They always break down the rewards, and like I kind of come to the rewards, it seems like initially the high rewards are quite high up, and then as seasons go down, they kind of come down a tier. Maybe to entice more people to play as player burnout kind of kicks in, I guess you could say. Now, ships coming out this update, we have the Japanese Tier 4 premium battleship, the Bogey. Now, she's coming in a tier higher than expected, which is quite interesting. And there is some information here regarding her. What I'll do, if I can, I'll open it up like that, and I'll quickly go over the pros and cons on the PC version of the game. I didn't do the Belfast. Maybe we'll come back and do the Belfast. So over on PC, pros are she has a very good gun range, which is quite interesting, and she has a relatively advanced AA complement for her tier. She's got more rearward facing turrets, so that does make her more of a tail chaser, I guess you could say. or a tail kiter. She's got 14-inch guns, which has she got 14-inch guns? Yes, she's got 14-inch guns, but she's at tier 4. I think on PC, with her being down a tier, it does make her quite strong, but over here on Legends, that's not going to make much of a difference really, because quite a lot of battleships have 14-inch guns at tier 4, so that's probably one reason why she's been up tiered. Looks like she might have quite reasonable speed as well. Yeah, see, downsides, not a lot of guns, only 6 guns in total, so that's in comparison to, say, the Congo, which has 4 turrets, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's kind of, she's got less guns than the tech tree version over here on Legends. Looks like she has terrible dispersion, battle cruiser armor, poor AA configuration, I guess you could say. Probably quite a large turning radius. Turret placement might make it awkward to angle the ship. Looks like she's not great when she's outnumbered significantly, probably just due to that low amount of damage that she can kind of dish out. And looks like she might have pretty poor detectability as well for her tier. So that's something just to note with the upcoming Japanese battleship, I guess you could say. Hello Kieran, thoughts on the Belfast 43? Hesitant at best. I wonder how the auction came before the training rooms. I think the auction feature is probably quite simple. I think training rooms is going to be shortly before they bring clans, I guess you'd say. I'll take a Mikasa over Bogey, to be honest. Although with the Mikasa, maybe not right now with the French kamikaze kicking around out there. There's also the tier 6 Premium Destroyer, the Oland, which is obviously coming to the game. I think there might be some dates on these. So Oland over on PC, and what are her pros and cons? Very good main battery, rate of fire, very fast torpedoes, and very good range and fairly quick reload. Excellent anti-aircraft suite, potentially defensive AA5 consumable, decent concealment and access to a repair party. Downsides are that she lacks a smoke screen. The ship is lacking for the ship's speed is lacking for a destroyer. Lowest torpedo damage, or alpha I guess you say, low hit point and short main battery range. So yeah, she doesn't seem that exciting. Let's see, so when's the Bogey making it to the game? There's no dates there. The Oland, I think the Oland's commented on actually further up. So I'll just quickly scroll up. Was the Oland mentioned here? There you go. Oland becoming available on the 23rd of May. As for the Japanese battleship, not really sure. She might, yeah, not really sure. Anyway, last few things. Balance changes. Now, obviously, there's no balance changes here. But obviously there is the dev blog of upcoming changes, which is the one where the Weimars go into tier 7, the Italian premium cruisers are going to be testing semi-armor piercing, things like that. So it seems like balance changes will happen, just not on the patch day. So they upcoming changes, but not sure when. That's the best way to put it. However, then this is an interesting one. However, a significant big surprise is waiting for you. Training rooms? Clans? Maybe clans. Feel free to shout out your guesses. Sean, my first language is English Southwest and pirate is second. Gar. By the way, Azur Keano, the voice actress of Otago, got fired in China only for visiting the controversial memorial, but the global Azur lane, such like Japan, USA and Europe, she still works for them as a Otago voice. Okay, so maybe the agreement with Wargaming is with the China-based office then, or something like that. Or maybe it's a decision across the board that because the change in the voice acting in China only affects the voice acting that they're allowed to use globally for that commander. Maybe Zuma, I buy a Bogey only for Japanese, but never drive her, such as the Mikasa, for being so bad. Right, store update. So I'm not sure if these commanders are going to be coming to the game for sale or anything like that, which is amusing, but basically skins, permanent camouflages, same as voice editors and commander guises can now be previewed in the store before making a purchase. Some minor interface tweaks to smooth the experience that has been added as well. That seems fair. Bug fixes. Console. Ship models in battle could sometimes load as polygon versions when reconnecting after disconnecting. When navigating between the Bureau projects, segments with control bumper buttons going back could result in the wrong segment being focused on when navigating. A collision warning alert with a delay. Puncture digressions barbette layout in the armor viewer was incorrect. So basically, she's working as intended, but that's been corrected. Flint now correctly takes all range modifiers into account. For a few months, she has been used to be hard limited to 16.3 kilometers due to an error. A rare case of aiming reticles disappearing at the beginning of battles when players use the overview camera and tactical map during the countdown. Now, mobile status bar. I don't even think it's worth me going over the mobile. And I'll go over the mobile if there's mobile players watching. So shout out if you are a mobile player. Otherwise, I'm just going to skip it. Others, adding ray tracing to PlayStation 5, which can now be enabled in the game settings. This feature requires 4K resolution to be turned on. Coloured shell traces can now be turned off by switching the decorative parameter on customized settings. So basically, commander guises in their entirety can be turned off. New sonar icon. So this I think is a big change, and I think they should have made more of a song and dance about it, because it's something that we've kind of needed for a long time, and that's basically a difference between radar and sonar detected symbols, because at the moment they're the same, and so you don't know whether you're detected by sonar or radar, and you kind of, as a destroyer, you have to be aware of almost like what's around you in order to try and work out what's going on. With the sonar and radar symbols being updated, so they're different. I think that's a really big players as well. Ijin Azuma, do blitz players count? No, no, they don't. Not in this case. A special type of challenge for new players, and this is another thing, which I kind of feel hints towards training rooms. So we've kind of got it up here. There's a significantly big surprise lying in wait. Okay. Plans leading to training rooms, maybe. This demo mode, I would say, is almost a precursor to training rooms. That's how I feel. I feel that this is the precursor. So this is the basically just playing a versus AI game, and not losing your boosters, not losing your camouflages, and receiving a reduced XP in order to just test the ship, I guess you could say. I kind of feel this is a precursor for training rooms, because I kind of feel like demo mode will sit alongside training rooms with its ability, with like differing abilities, I guess you could say. I kind of feel this is like the precursor to it. This is them implementing something that they can then build it towards training rooms. I kind of feel. So this is started on May the 30th, and the terms are as follows. You can play up to 2 games with any types of ships that you haven't played more than once yet. The opponents are AI only, and it's a safer way of trying out new stuff. Your boosters and cannons do not get spent, but you will get XP, except to be 20% less than a standard battle. Ship markers. So this is all regarding the minimap in the top left corner where I am now, I guess you could say. So out of range markers are now half transparent for both main battery and torpedoes. Aircraft carriers and their squadron markers are now non-transparent. The same goes for every marker in spectator mode and focus markers. The big HP bar of focused markers now blinks after receiving damage. A small HP bar was added for unfocused markers. Now, also with this update, they've introduced 2 new ship traits for the American Tier 6 Premium Destroyer Kid, and swapping Nimble Aim for Heal consumable. The second one is Slow Torpedoes, which is going to be used for upcoming ships. Okay, fair enough. And then there is just a mobile one. Divisions are now available, so mobile player, not just with non-mobile players, well, but other mobile players. So basically, mobile players can now division up with console players. And actually other mobile players if they want. So that is kind of good news, I guess you could say. Now, we did kind of not really go over the Belfast too much. We kind of did some comparison based on the information we know, but I didn't go through her pros and cons over on the PC version of the game. So I'll just quickly do that now. So let's see, pros and cons over on PC. I should caveat. She has access to high explosive shells, unlike most other British light cruisers. Good high explosive damage and penetration for its gun caliber. Shell arcs are fairly high, enough to lob shells over islands. Unlike its Tier 7 counterpart, Belfast 40. Let me correct that for a Legends term. Unlike its Tier 6 counterpart, in Legends, Belfast 43 has 2 triple torpedo launchers, one per side of the ship. She has access to a short burst smoke generator over on PC, yet to be confirmed on World Warships Legends. Also surveillance radar and hydroacoustic search. She also has excellent concealment when fully upgraded for it. And yeah, she does have better concealment than the Edinburgh. She's actually got one of the best for the tier in comparison to the Tech Tree cruisers from what I've seen. Cons. Poor main battery rate of fire, 9.5 seconds, and fire chance for the high explosive shells. Subpar shell velocity and high shell arcs, American shell ballistics, making hitting targets at range challenging. She's lightly armoured with a large and exposed citadel. She has sluggish ship handling and poor deceleration. Okay, that's worth noting. Now, it also says one of the downsides here is obviously the smoke being a short burst smoke screen that dissipates very quickly, yet to be confirmed over on, well, yet to be confirmed for Legends, I should say. Also, hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar, you only get 2 charges stock, and I'd say that's probably pretty consistent to happen on Legends as well. Well, that's the patch notes in their entirety, so we're kind of open the forum, open the floor, any queries, any questions, and we'll see what we can do. If not, we'll tidy up the stream and see how things go. Hello, Sax as well. Good to see you. So the floor is now open. Mara, who cares for mobile players? And at the moment, mobile is still a beta version of the game, I guess you could say. It's still work in progress. So I think until mobile becomes like an official game, I don't really think I'm too fussed about it. What I might do, I might expand the camera a little bit. There we go. IGN Zuma, considering she could have short duration smoke, smog fun could be strong here. It could be strong, but you have to remember, let's see. Let me have a look on PC. Just closed it down as well. Where's her consumables? I'm not sure how many. Let's see. So over on PC, she gets 2 number hydroacoustic search, 5 number short burst smoke screens, 2 charges of surveillance radar, or 3 charges of catapult fighter. And it's worth noting over on World of Warships Legends, you will be able to swap the hydroacoustic search for defensive AA fire consumable, and potentially you'll be able to swap out the smoke generator for repair party as well. Details on the repair party and number is yet to be confirmed, and the same with the defensive AA fire consumable. So, if she does get 5 charges of short burst smokescreen over on Legends, using a Reginald Tyrwhitt commander build, you would be able to take that up to 7 smokescreens. And if they're short burst, let me just open up my stats. Let's see. What's the British smoke generator? Jervis. Okay, I think it doesn't change between the tiers. Smoke generator has a 10-second duration, a 40-second dispersion, and a 60-second reload. So if you're looking at 7 times the 60 seconds, that's 7 minutes of smoke. No, wait, it'd be 7 times the 40, wouldn't it? 7 times by 40 seconds. Obviously, that might be a bit longer. 280 seconds of smoke. That works out about 4 minutes and, let's say, 40 seconds. It's not a long time. I think that's going to be my concern if she has the short generation smokescreen. It's not going to sit around for a long amount of time, even with Smogophon. It's only like 4 minutes of smokescreen. Hello, Baz. Hello. Looks like you missed. Yeah, we're at the end. We're at the open forum bit. It's almost. Chuck your 2 cents in, and so we'll see where we go. Any questions or queries? We'll see where we go. Is the manager going to change his name to the Galloping Seahorse? You're ruining one of my video ideas there, Baz. I was going to do the Galloping Major and the Galloping Seahorse. Yeah, she does look quite nice. I wonder how accurate that camouflage is. Obviously, as I've kind of finished the stream, feel free to obviously give it a thumbs up and all that YouTube stuff. But in the meantime, let's have a look at that camouflage on the Belfast and see how accurate that is, if at all. Because obviously, I'll probably do a historical accuracy short on the Belfast. Let's see, she's a town class. Where's the town classes? Pre-war. There's Belfast. At the moment, it's not looking too good. It looks a bit like a fantasy camouflage. Yeah, no, that camouflage looks to be a little bit fanciful. It would. Obviously, we'll scrutinise it more when she actually gets released. But I would say it looks to be her 1940. Yeah, it does look to be potentially her 1943 or 1942 camouflage. However, I'd say the colours are off. Yeah, it looks to be her December 1943 camouflage, but the colours are incorrect. First of all, this camouflage that we're seeing on what is her starboard side is actually her port side camouflage. So that's the first thing to mention. It would have seen, and also this section down here should be a very light blue. This section here that pretty much just disappears, that should be a very dark blue. The grey looks to be correct. That should be a slightly lighter blue, but the black section is correct. Yeah, the blue slightly off, and that should be definitely a lot darker blue. And also, this is her port side camouflage on her starboard side. So that seems to be some of the inaccuracies. Anyway, that's a little bit of a tease of the forthcoming historical accuracy using the research material that I have access to. I'll just pop that book away. There we go. Hello, Sniper Bachelor, hello. I have the Tier 6 Belfast, a great ship. There is no instinctive for me to take part in this campaign for what appears to me to be a under par Belfast. Yeah, no, and that's my fear as well. By the way, Major, what's the ship model in the background? Well, as Mara said, it is Hood, but I'll bring her down so you can have a little bit of a peek. She seems to come out every single live stream, but there you go. It's a Kobe kit. Let me get this right because the webcam slightly is mirrored from my perspective as well. Yeah, very nice. So yeah, it's HMS Hood 1 to 300 scale. I guess it suits me. Yeah. I genuinely, I love the historical accurate camouflages. Oh yes, yes. They sure know how to put on a good show, don't they? Right, unless anyone's got any questions, I think we'll just polish off our tea and we'll call that an evening because I have to cook the evening meal. Thankfully, tonight's meal is oh god, this is going to sound really British. It's fish and chips. Of course it is. Yeah, so tonight I've got to cook up some fish and chips. Oh, of course it is, of course it is. But yeah, no, I think overall, I'll just reduce my webcam. I think overall going through the patch, Pan-European destroyers seem to be a rather selected destroyer, which is not going to be very universal for a lot of players, and so it's going to be interesting to see. The Friesland's coming back for Global XP, and the Beast of Iska becoming available for Global XP. Now what? Fair enough, I'm quite happy with that. The commanders coming to the game for the Pan-European destroyers look quite capable. I like that now Swirsky is not going to be locked behind doubloons. He's now going to be also available for everyone, so I think that is going to be changing up the meta as well quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with that. Campaign ship, the Belfast 43. I'm hesitant. I would love her to have a normal smokescreen or a reasonable main armoured bout in the centre, because either I want her to be a tier 7 Fiji with high explosives, perfect, I would love that, with the long lasting smokescreen but flimsy armour. Otherwise I would like her, if she is going to have a short smokescreen, I can accept her to be less tanky than the Edinburgh, but I'd like her to have at least a reasonable armoured bout in order to actually angle against incoming shells. So the Belfast 43, yet to really make a decision on it. Is the Belfast 43 going to have a heal? So the consumables on the Belfast, you have obviously a damage control party, and then you have 3 slots. Your first slot, for example, you can either choose smoke generator or you can choose repair party. In your second slot, you can choose sonar or defensive AA fire consumable, and in your 4th slot, the 4th and last slot, you can choose to have radar or catapult fighter. So that's the consumables. That has been confirmed by the community managers over on the public Discord. So if that does interest you. The campaign, so obviously it's taken the campaign ship out of the campaign. The rest of the campaign seems rather weak in regards to rewards. That's kind of the thing. The Azur lane returned to the game. I think that's a positive thing. The Azur lane commanders, whether or not you like Azur lane, those Erling commanders do add additional stuff to the game, which is quite nice. And so even if you don't completely agree with Erling, or if it's not your cup of tea, you're not really interested in animated or Japanese voices, or even the character design, the traits are actually quite useful. so I think even if you're not an anime or a weeb or an otaku or whatever you want to call it, I still think the Azur Lane commanders do bring something to the game which is quite worthwhile. The Godzilla and Kong stuff was pretty weak anyway, and this is like the third time it's come around again, so they're still kind of pushing it, I guess you could say. I'm not really too fussed about that. The auction system seems interesting, but yeah, I'm not really interested in it personally. It's a new mechanic that introduces the game. Some people have asked for it, well, that would keep them happy, but for me, I'm just going to give it a wide berth. I'm not really interested in it at all. The arena, removing the HP regen, is going to be a really interesting game changer, and I probably will actually give arena a lot more of a serious push this season. But I'm probably just going to aim for that top 10% if I can, and it'd be interesting to see how much quicker do games go now they've got rid of this this stupid mechanic they had in the game where they had the HP regen. Premium ships, the Myogi, being that she's coming at tier 4 and not tier 3, I think she's going to be a lot weaker than she is on PC, and therefore she's not going to be that special, I kind of feel, unless they've given her something else that we haven't seen here. So whether they've given her a main battery relay booster or something else, but otherwise she seems to be not that interesting a ship because she's at tier 4. If she's at tier 3, I think she'd be a lot stronger, but they've decided to up tier her in comparison to the PC version of the game, as in like the compares to the tech tree ship that she's at the same tier. So on the PC she's at the same tier as the Izuchi, whereas on Legends she's coming in at the same tier as the Congo, so that's why I'm saying she's up tiered. Oland, I don't really know what to say about this one. It's a Friesland with torpedoes, maybe. I see. I think with this one, it might be a play and see, I guess you could say. Balance changes, obviously nothing happening right now. Stuff will happen in the future. Stuff happening in the future, I kind of agree with most of it. However, a big surprise is laying in wait. Don't know what it is, but my hunch is maybe clans or training rooms. Let's see. Ability to try out things before you purchase them, so you can hear the voiceovers, things like that. Fair enough. Bug fixes, can't really complain. Other news, I think the updating, like differentiating between the sonar and the radar symbol, that's a really nice thing. The ability to turn off shell tracers, yep, I'll be doing that. I'm not really a fan of the shell tracers in the game, honestly. Now, demo battles, I think that's, for me, I'm kind of taking that as a precursor to training rooms. So I don't think we'll be getting training rooms straight away. We might get clans. I think we might get clans this update, but it's not confirmed. That's just me, one finger in the air, trying to tell which way the wind's going to go. But with demo battles coming, I think that might eventually lead towards training rooms in the near future. Not this patch, maybe not the next patch, but maybe sometime in the future, I guess you could say. Ship markers, okay, that's a bit of a quality of life change, and there's some really minor changes down here. So that's my very quick summary of the patch notes if you have just joined us. And I think from there I'm just going to read the last few patch things, and then I will be signing off and calling it a evening, and then you chaps go on your merry way. And as usual, feel free to get a thumbs up. I want the Azur Lane Nelson for my Vanguard with Big 7. It would be like a Conqueror. Fair enough on that one. Varazaz smoke all heal. Yes, that's very true. Mara, useful is nice, but they can be a little bit strong. Yes, especially like the early wave stuff. To be honest, sometimes, but I'm utterly disappointed by Vaz saying Hugo is OP for tier 5. The thing is, Hyuga is strong for tier 5, and you never know, you might see Fuso get some love. That's how I think they're going to play it. I think they might give Fuso some love, but we had to see. Michael, hello. Action. Auction. Okay, sorry, I had to read the card. I don't want to read it out loud until I had full concept of that one. Auction really isn't very good. You were hoping for something like Elder Scrolls Online, where if you have a large amount of resources or ship you don't use, you would be able to post them in port. Yeah, I think that's basically what players would want, because I'd auction the Jean Bar straight away. Goodbye, Jean Bar, don't need you. However, I think the reason why they're avoiding that is just because it can be a bit of a quagmire in regards to like real money trading and things like that happening on the side and stuff. It can. I think auctions is just it's a bit of a swamp. And I think they're just trying to avoid getting into the thick of the swamp, I guess you say. Well, much obliged, everyone. Look after yourself, stay safe, stay well. Have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and a good night wherever you are in the world. We will be live streaming World Warships Legends tomorrow evening, probably about this time. So I hope to catch you then. And yeah, stay safe, stay well. Hyuga's tier 5, isn't she? Yeah, anyway, I'll sign off there, and I'll let you all go. Feel free to give it a thumbs up before you go, and feel free to subscribe if you're new here. And until next time, I've got to make sure I click the right button now. I'm the Gav Major, and back to the pool.